Hey, so just wanted to record a quick video to help on supplemental feeds, especially if you are a brand switching providers. So if you are going to, move on from your agency, move on from a consultant, maybe even sometimes this might be applicable if you haven't really locked down access and control with employees even who leave. You've got to make sure that you have access to supplemental feeds, all right? Just their supplemental feeds. And here's what I mean by that. This is a client that we recently took over that was using a ton of supplemental feeds, and none of us had any access to them. We couldn't get access to them. So this isn't even the way you want to manage an account, by the way. Is I want you to never view one of my videos or read one of the things I write on Google Merch Center and not know that everything that I say means go to the original feed source and edit that as much as possible. Have a clean feed source. That's so crucial to avoiding confusing things happening. That being said, someone like this, they're using multiple supplemental feeds, and it was changing data. There were PMAX campaigns and shopping campaigns, and they were using various things. We didn't know what was affecting what. It was just a mess. And so we've been working slowly over a couple months now to just start editing things, identifying things, switching things over in campaigns so that it's tied more to product types, which no longer have to be manual, and we can make them dynamically with our new feed file. It's just been a mess. But the thing I want to talk about is supplemental feeds. What if you don't have access to a supplemental feed? You forgot to get access from your agency, you fired them, and then you realize, oh crap, they have a ton of product titles that they're editing. We don't even know what that is. What do we do with that? You don't just want to delete that feed, by the way, because it might be important. It might be doing something important. So a couple of things when you make this transition. First of all, never delete a supplemental feed in the beginning. Simply remove it from being attached to the original source feed file. That way, if there's ever a problem, you can literally just reattach it quick and go back to where you were, and then kind of keep working on that problem, right? And the way you do that is not in the supplemental feed. That's confusing, but it's not in the supplemental feed. It's actually in the main feed. It's in the main feed, and you actually have to go into feed rules. This is not something that you normally think about. And then down, you're going to see all other attributes. That's where your supplemental feeds are. This is the feed sources. So you go into there, and then you remove them from accessing and editing this feed, making adjustments to the feed. So if I wanted to, I would remove one of those, and then and then it's no longer there. And we've done that, as you can see. Let me go back to my supplemental feed page. We've done that here. You can see that we're starting to process through, and we adjusted the supplemental feed, and then we pull it. I like to write old in that title, just so we know if it's old, it's not attached, but we're not ready to delete it. It's not used in our main feed. So this is really, really important. Another thing just to keep in mind and be aware of is you actually can access what the information is. Because at first you're like, oh no, we can't access the information. You try to open the Google Sheets to see what's going on. It won't let you. It gives you the Google Drive thing of death. Do you want to ask permission? Oh, well, okay. So first of all, sure, go ahead and ask permission, or ask your client, or whatever. If you can't get permission, what you can do is you can go into the supplemental feed and you can download the file. All right. You can download the file. You can even choose the specific, did you know that with feeds? You can actually even choose the specific place. If something got messed up, you can go back to November 14th, because maybe that's the one where everything was accurate. Oh gosh. Okay. Of course I say that, and then you can't download that one, but, December 19th, right? So, it's January 11th. So December 19th, we want to revert back, or we just want to see what's in there. And then you download that file, and then you have access. And then what you can do, and this is stupid and ugly, but it is the way it is, you pull that file, you create a new supplemental feed, and that's what we've done. For right now, we're trying to get everything to the point where we can switch over the main feed in this client. And they had this supplemental feed. We didn't even know what was going on. There are all these product exclusions. We don't know what those are. We don't just want to remove this supplemental feed because, it might infuse a ton of products back in. And so what we did is we created our own Zato exclusions, all right? This is our feed, supplemental feed for now. This is like a temporary thing. And we basically copied and pasted that into this feed. So now we have access to it. And one of the other things we did, by the way, is we checked with the client and just said, hey, can you just confirm that you still want these products excluded? And guess what? There were 15 of them that said, no, we want to advertise those. Okay, well, they were excluded. we're back in business, baby, with those. And so we remove those from the exclusion feed. We attach that to the feed. We processed everything, because remember, once you do turn that on, you do need to do the fetch now on the supplemental feed. That triggers it in. Then you need to go into your main feed, reprocess that feed. It gets everything into order. It'll take, it'll take a few hours to get everything processed. It could even take like a day or two just for everything to hit Google search. But then all of a sudden, you're fine. Like, everything is clean. You control the supplemental feed. You're back in business. You can even share that supplemental feed with your client because you're a good, hearty person. And there you go. That's what you do with supplemental feeds when you don't really have access, when you've just taken over and it's a mess. Now you know. Hope that was helpful. Keep on GMCing.